Just making a video on Hold with Food.
For who?
Social media.
Somebody asked for this.
Not really, no.
So, why are you filming it? Is there any particular reason why you're doing it?
Yeah, just social media.
The depot manager objects and calls the police when two officers arrive. They make statements that suggest they are policing feelings rather than upholding the law. Yes, making a video on Hold social media. Somebody asked for this. Not really. No. So why you're filming it? He really particular reason why you're doing it. Yeah, just for social media. The depot manager walks outside, clearly frustrated, and asks the classic question, why are you filming? BP Visits responds simply for social media. And that's where the problem begins, because from this point on, the depot manager assumes the worst instead of recognizing a basic fact: filming in public is not a crime under UK law. There are no restrictions on filming from a public place. This includes footpaths, roads, and any land accessible to public.
It's brought up on social media.
For who?
For myself.
For whose benefit?
For my benefit.
For what reason though?
Because I enjoy doing these things. I make little videos on companies.
Right, can I ask you not to be doing that then?
Right, what do you mean?
Well, there's no reason why it should be. Have you asked these lads permission if you can film them?
I'm not filming lads, I'm just filming the vehicles and your racks and stuff.
We've got staff in here that, you shouldn't be filming them.
In the UK, there is no expectation of privacy in a public place. If people are visible from a public area, they can be recorded without consent as long as the footage is not being used for harassment or unlawful purposes. However, in this case, the depot manager's argument is completely irrelevant because BP Visits isn't even focusing on individuals. He's filming the vehicle. There's no legal requirement to ask permission to record trucks, lorries, or any company property if they are visible from a public area. The depot manager is either misinformed or deliberately trying to create an issue where there isn't one. His argument falls apart the moment BP Visits clarifies his focus. It is on the vehicles, not the workers. This.
Surely there's some like...
I can see it from here, can't I? So
No, you shouldn't be filming staff. We are asking permission, or anybody on this firm, you shouldn't be filming them.
I'm not particularly filming people. I'm just filming vehicles. I don't usually give my details.
Right. So can I ask you to leave here then?
What, the public area?
Well, this is our
Listen, this is public.
And here comes another predictable move. The depot manager asks, are you willing to give your name? BP Visits, knowing full well he has no obligation to do so, simply respond with no. But then he flips the question back on the depot manager, who just seconds ago was demanding his name, suddenly dismisses the question, responding with it's irrelevant by refusing to answer his own question. The depot manager proves BP Visits' point. The demand for a name was never about security or legitimacy. It was just about control. If the manager truly believed names were necessary, he would have had no issue providing his own.
This is counselling, it's drop care.
Right.
Surely.
So you're not prepared to give me your name?
What's your name?
I'm depot manager here.
What's your name?
This is relevant.
There you go.
This is where the depot manager completely undermines his own argument. He just admitted that his business films people on CCTV, which is exactly what BP Visits is doing, recording from a public space for documentation purposes. This is a perfect example of double standards. Businesses want a right to film the public, but they take issue when the public does the same.
There you go.
Yeah. You're filming people here that... Surely
I'm not filming people. Why do you keep saying I'm filming people?
Well, I was just saying you're filming them. We've got video.
I'm filming around. Well, so you're filming me then? Yeah. So, is that allowed now?
Safety at premises.
Oh, okay. I'm doing it for my safety now. I'm just filming people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. They might run out with me or something. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
And here comes a classic false equivalence argument. The depot manager, running out of valid points, tries a different approach. What if I came to your house and filmed outside BP Visits without missing a beat? Do you live here? The depot manager has no response because he knows he's just been caught making a completely invalid comparison. A private home and a commercial warehouse are not the same thing. This is a public-facing business operating in the public domain with vehicles, signage, and staff. Clearly visible from public land, unlike a private residence, there is no reasonable expectation of privacy. In a setting like this, in contrast, residential properties do have certain legal protections under harassment laws, protection from Harassment Act 1997, and privacy rights Article 8 of the Human Rights Act 1998. However, businesses do not have these same protections when they operate in public view.
Hi. Are you ringing now?
No, your business.
Okay. You look intent on it.
Yeah, I am.
So what's the issue? I don't get what the issue is.
Well, how come it's outside your house and we're filming outside your house?
Do you live here?
And just like that, the depot manager, unable to control the situation, takes it a step further, calling the police and claiming BP Visits is acting suspiciously outside the warehouse. But let's take a moment to unpack this. What exactly is suspicious filming in public is completely legal, and at no point has BP Visits done anything unlawful, whether he's recording from public footpath or legally flying a drone. Nothing here warrants police involvement, yet instead of accepting this, the manager escalates the situation, unnecessarily calling the police when no crime has been committed is a waste of taxpayer money, and police resources officers should be responding to real crimes, not being used as a tool for businesses that don't like being recorded. The depot manager has now turned his own misunderstanding of the law into a police matter, all because he refuses to accept that the public has the right to record.
Yeah, can I have a voice, please?
Really? Get out of it.
Well, you're not prepared to tell me anything, are you?
So what crime are you reporting? What crime are you reporting? What crime?
Let's just wait around.
The police finally arrive, and right away the misrepresentation begins. The officers state that they were called out because of reports of a male acting suspiciously, being aggressive and so confrontational. But let's be clear, none of that is true. At no point has BP Visits been aggressive or confrontational. All he has done is exercise his legal right to film in public and stand his ground when challenged. This is a classic example of exaggerating a situation to justify police involvement instead of simply telling the officers that someone was filming from a public space. The depot manager inflated a story to make it seem like there was a legitimate threat, when in reality there wasn't.
All right.
My name's Tom. Just come in. I had a couple of calls about you, I won't lie.
All right, okay.
Mainly about a male acting suspiciously, being quite aggressive.
Aggressive?
Aggressive
No,
and
don't
being
think so.
quite confrontational.
This response is key because it highlights an important point. Filming in public doesn't need a label or a justification. Whether someone calls it auditing, vlogging, or just visiting, the right to record in public remains the same. The law doesn't change based on terminology, yet officers often try to associate filming with auditing as a way to question motives. It doesn't matter what you call, it's legal.
So that's why we've just come along
Right.
to have a chat with you, if that's okay.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Can I ask what your first name is, just so I know what to call you?
I don't usually give out that information,
No,
unless
that's
I
fine.
need to.
No, that's fine. Well, at the moment, like I say, it's about having a chat with you and stuff.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
At the moment, calls we've received a call from the company over here and
Yeah.
a call from the Environment Centre, okay?
You did, yeah, that's right, yeah.
Is it relating to auditing and stuff, like auditing processes and things like that?
I don't call it, I call it visiting. I go around to industrial estates, just making, I'm a vlogger, just go around and just make videos. Yeah,
Okay, no
simple as that.
Now, the conversation shifts to the drone, one of the most common areas where misinformation gets thrown around. The officer confidently states that he has spoken with his drone operator, who supposedly told him that you can't fly within 50 m of any person. This is yet another example of police misunderstanding or misrepresenting the law. The rules around drone usage in the UK are set by the Civil Aviation Authority under the Air Navigation Order 2016, and the UK Drone Code. The 50 m rule only applies to drones in a specific or certified category, which are generally larger commercial drones. However, for drones in the open category, which includes most consumer drones weighing under 150 g, such as the DJI mini-series, restrictions are much more relaxed.
And do you do that for commercial purposes or for personal?
No, just personal, absolutely personal, yeah.
There's been reports you're flying a drone as well.
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of that, do you know legislation about flying a drone and stuff? I'm just double checking that.
Of course I do, yeah.
That's fine.
I won't be flying drone if I know legislation.
That's
of course,
fine.
yeah.
So from my point of view then,
Yeah.
okay, we'll have a chat with these guys here.
Yeah, yeah.
At the moment, I spoke to our drone operator while I've been travelling over here. I had a chat with him, okay.
Yeah.
As far as he goes, as long as you're not flying a drone within 50 metres or any person, okay,
Rubbish.
or anything like
Well, he's
that.
not a very good operator then, is he?
No, exactly. Well, it's
He's
about-
incorrect. That's incorrect. That's incorrect.
BP Visits already knows the law, and by confirming the drone's weight, he's making it clear that he is operating fully within legal limits. This means the police have no grounds to restrict his flight unless he's violating airspace regulations or causing a public nuisance, which he isn't. Additionally, under Article 240 and 241 of the Air Navigation Order 2016, it is an offense to fly a drone in a manner that endangers property, people, or aircraft. However, simply flying a sub 250 g drone near a warehouse from a public space does not meet this threshold unless the drone is being used recklessly or interfering with emergency operations. The police have no legal authority to demand BP Visits to stop flying.
He's wrong. Are you sure he's a
As long
drone?
as you're using it for a personal use.
Are you sure he's a drone operator?
Rather than like a commercial use versus
Yep.
needing a drone operator's license and stuff. Can I ask what drone you're using as well, size-wise at all?
Yeah, it's a 249 gram drone.
The officer is misrepresenting the law here, likely in an attempt to intimidate BP Visits into stopping his legal activity. Let's break it down. Public Order Act 1986, Section 5. This law covers causing harassment, alarm, or distress. However, for this to apply, BP Visits would need to be using threatening, abusive, or insulting words or behavior, which he hasn't. Simply filming and assert his rights is not a criminal offense. Harassment protection from Harassment Act 1997. Harassment is defined as a course of conduct, two or more incidents that causes alarm or distress to an individual. But here's the key point. He is not engaging in repeated conduct against the same person. He is simply filming from a public space for police to lawfully pursue a harassment charge. They would need actual evidence that his behavior was deliberately targeted and causing distress, which isn't the case. What this really sounds like is an attempt to shut down lawful activity by making baseless threats. Officers should be upholding the law, not stretching it to try and discourage someone from exercising their legal rights. And unless the police can prove that a genuine offense has taken place, this is nothing more than an intimidation tactic.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
What I'll do then...
and I've flown within 50 metres of people. I absolutely have, yeah.
What's your plan, by the way, in terms of today then?
Sorry, Sig.
What's your plan in terms of today? Because I hope you don't mind.
Yeah.
It's causing a lot of issues and distress in the community around here. And you're causing a lot of frustration.
Absolute rubbish.
I've had more than one call and I've spoken.
Well, you're not a feelings police, are you?
I'm not a feelings police.
So if I'm not breaking any laws...
Listen, I've spoken to people. Okay, now
Yeah.
I'll be really direct with you. Okay?
Go for it.
At the moment you're engaging with me, I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
If we keep getting calls and we keep having this pattern of behaviour in this area, okay, I'm going to have no choice to look at to deal with it either a public order offence or harassment.
I don't think you can.
Now, the officer tries to escalate things further by bringing up Section 50 of the Police Reform Act 2002, stating that he can demand BP Visits' name and details if he's been involved in antisocial behavior. This is a common police tactic, throwing around Section 50 in an attempt to pressure people into giving their details when no offense has actually been committed, but BP Visits knows his rights, and by asking the officer to define antisocial behavior, he's exposing the fact that the officer has no valid grounds to use his power.
I think you can.
At the moment,
You can't do that.
Section 50 of the Police Reform Act, I can request your name and details.
No, you can't.
Now, if you've been involved in antisocial behaviour, now please read
I haven't been antisocial behaviour.
At the moment,
Define antisocial
you're
behaviour.
engaging with me.
Police officers are there to enforce laws, not manage public emotions. The fact that some individuals feel frustrated or uncomfortable does not turn a legal activity into an offense. Filming in public is not a legal public frustration, does not create a criminal act. The police are required to act lawfully, not based on subjective complaints. This is a typical attempt to shift the focus away from the law instead of addressing whether an offense has been committed. The officer tries to justify police involvement by citing people's frustration, something that has no legal standing.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm happy to give you words of advice. Just say the communities around here are getting really frustrated. I think that's.
But you're not the feelings police, man. I'm not breaking any laws.
I've spoken to lots of people and they're telling me they're frustrated.
But I'm not breaking any laws.
Yeah, but they're allowed to
You
feel
don't
frustrated
police
at
their
your behaviour.
feelings. You don't police their feelings.
I don't police their feelings.
Well, you are doing. You're out here because people got feelings.
We've had multiple calls, haven't we?
Whether intentional or not to sound like a veiled threat, the police have a duty to act lawfully and fairly, not to apply pressure or intimidate someone into stopping illegal activity. Statements like this create the impression that even though BP Visits is breaking no laws, officers might find another way to justify intervention. If complaints continue, repeated calls do not turn illegal activity into a crime, and the police cannot lawfully try a different approach if no offense has been committed. Under the Police Code of Ethics, officers are required to act with integrity and must not abuse their authority, pressure, or intimidate individuals who...
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you this example, okay?
Yeah.
If you feel in fear of immediate and unlawful violence, okay?
Whoa, hang on.
Against me, no, listen.
None of them have felt that, have they? None of them have felt
that. That would constitute an assault, so that is a feeling.
Absolutely.
Offence, all right? And that's
No,
what
that's because you've advanced. There's been none of that. There's been none of that. People
what
have
I'm going to do is
been.
I'm going to have a chat with these guys. My colleague's going to have a quick chat with them. Okay?
He don't know anything about it. He's just come out to talk to me, so I've only just got here.
Oh, okay.
So yeah.
Well, I'll still have a chat with them.
Yeah.
Okay? As long as there's no more concerns, we'll leave you be.
Yep.
All right? But you appreciate if we keep getting numerous calls.
No, I don't
we're gonna have
appreciate
to take a different.
I
we're
do
gonna
not
have to take a
appreciate.
different
I
approach,
do not
aren't we?
appreciate
that. No.
ASBO's antisocial behavior orders were replaced in 2014 by criminal behavior orders, CBOs, and civil injunctions under the Antisocial Behavior Crime and Policing Act 2014. These powers are meant to tackle persistent harassment, alarm, or distress, none of which applies to someone lawfully filming from a public space. BP Visits' warning about a civil claim is completely justified if the police attempt to impose restrictions without legal grounds. He could take action under T law, citing Ms. Feen's in public office breach of human rights Article 10 freedom of expression or wrongful interference with lawful activity.
Because I am going round as a vlogger,
Yep.
using a camera.
Yep.
That's all I'm doing.
Yep.
You're now going to police feelings and try an ASBO, right? Which is nothing to do with that. An ASBO is one. If I keep coming back and annoying him, that's an ASBO, isn't it?
Well, I think we're going to have to agree to disagree on
And I
that.
think you will have to be very careful before you do that, because I will take a civil claim against you if you do.
Now, the officer tries to justify his claim by referencing Section 2 of the Protection from Harassment Act 1997, stating that a person must not pursue a course of conduct which amounts to harassment or which they know or ought to know amounts to harassment. But BP Visits and immediately challenges this responding harassment is more than once I've never been to a place more than once the key phrase in Section 2 is course of. Conduct, which under Section S of the same Act, is legally defined as at least 2 occasions. This means that a one-time visit and filming session cannot by law constitute harassment, no matter how much someone dislikes it. By misusing this law, the officer is either misinformed or deliberately stretching its meaning to justify intervention.
You know what I mean? If you arrest me,
a Section 2 harassment, a person pursues a course of conduct which they know or ought to have known would have
harassment is more than once.
Exactly.
I've never been any place more than once.
That's the point I'm making.
I've not been any place more than once.
Right.
Officers are required to inform individuals at the earliest opportunity when they are recording, but in this case, the officer only mentions it after the conversation has been going on for some time. To his credit, he does apologize for not informing BP Visit sooner, but that doesn't change the fact that he should have done it from the start.
I'm going to have a chat with these guys, okay, and I'll leave you in peace. My colleagues have a quick chat with them.
Yeah.
Like I say, I've got on with you. I'm not trying to be an idiot with you.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
If you have any issues, please let them know. By all means, if you want to make a complaint, you know how to.
No, you'll be fine, you'll be fine. If you go too far, then obviously, we will. But I've got videos. So if you go over there, I mean, it got a little bit hated, but only because the guy was hitting heated on me, because he said I'd been videoing his employees, right? Now, I've got video, I've got everything, like I'm recording this, it's all on video. So if before you make a decision,
that the officers walk away bringing this encounter to an end. But let's take a moment to reflect on what just happened and the biggest mistakes made during this interaction. From the very start, this entire situation was unnecessary. BP Visits was simply exercising his legal right to film in public, yet the depot manager falsely reported him as suspicious, escalating a non-issue into a police matter when the officers arrived instead of immediately recognizing that no offense had been committed. They entertained the complaint, questioned BP Visits' lawful activity, and even attempted to pressure him for his details under Section 50 of the Police Poly Reform Act without any legal justification. Then we saw the veiled threats, the officers suggesting they might take a different approach if more calls came into spite, knowing full well that repeated complaints do not turn a legal activity into a crime. There was also a complete misunderstanding of drone laws, with the officer relying on false information from an unnamed drone operator and failing to acknowledge that sub-250G drones are legally allowed to fly in these circumstances. This encounter perfectly illustrates the problems with policing today: officers responding to people's feelings instead of the law, misusing legal powers, and failing to educate the public on their rights. If the police had handled this properly, they would have simply told the warehouse depot manager he's not breaking the law, and left. Instead, they attempted to intimidate someone doing absolutely nothing wrong. And this is exactly why these videos matter, because police accountability is crucial. Officers must be held to the law, not their personal opinions or the complaint of misinformed businesses. That's a wrap for today's video. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me continue with my independent coverage. Also, don't forget to check out BP Visits channel linked in the description and show him some love. Thanks for watching. This was Rate the Audit, and I'll catch you in the next one.